Hello and welcome back to my Euro trip channel. This is the last stop of the Croatia leg of the trip and it included some of my favorite locations. This is Plitvice Lakes National Park. It is about a 2.5-hour drive from Split and about 4.5 hours from Dubrovnik. The lakes are separated into an upper and lower cluster, so you'll kind of decide which lakes you'll look at based on your walking abilities. Here you can see one of the many caves in this national park, and the different clips show the different colors of the different lakes. They range a lot from light blue to more of a turquoise. One of the things that I thought was funny is the word for waterfall is slap. So great waterfall is like big slap. If you're thinking of checking this place out, I would recommend coming to this national park sometime during the low season. We went right around the start of the tourist season and it wasn't peak time, but it was really crowded already. This is where Star Wars was filmed. I thought that's what you told me. And yes, we did verify that Star Wars was filmed here. We spent about half the day walking around and we didn't get to see the entire park. It would probably take a full day and we had about a half a day here. So I would definitely go back and look at the rest of the lakes. I wish we had a little bit more time here. There's a bench, some cable machines. Don't need any more cardio today. Adjustable bench, dumbbells seem nice. And a rack. It's actually not bad. Not bad for a hotel gym, but I have no equipment with me other than one pair of training shoes. But then there's this abandoned hallway. It's giving The Last of Us. And then there's just like a broken pec deck and more machines, lat pull down, a working pec deck, and then mystery rack. This looks important, but I'm not sure what it says. This was definitely one of the nicest hotel gyms I encountered. There were still no foam rollers to be seen, and I bought some for future trips because I realized that somehow leaving the US, I'm just used to having access to foam rollers at hotel gyms, but in Europe I saw 0 foam rollers the whole time, and we walked about 20-some thousand steps a day, and we spent a lot of time sitting on the bus, so my back was pretty stiff, and I would have been really grateful for a foam roller at this point. And this gym, I had about an hour to work out, but the lady who was there was super nice, and she instructed me to just turn the lights off and lock the doors when I was done, and she let me close up. There was a security guard who kept coming in to check to see if things were okay because he wasn't used to seeing the lights on that late, and I think as we left Dubrovnik, it got a little bit harder to find people who were fluent in English, but it was super nice. He just kept checking in to make sure that I was alive, I guess, and nothing weird was going on because this gym is located in a strange basement area. We just experienced an earthquake.
Really?
Yeah, the whole building shook.
I thought it was somebody. It means the flowing water. Because everywhere around.
This is some of the villages. While we were leaving Croatia, you can see that they are on top of a bunch of tiny mini waterfalls, and it's super beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. The next leg of our journey took us to Slovenia, and our first stop was Postojna Cave. This was one of the most fun places for me, and I am now a huge fan of caves. You begin by purchasing a ticket to get on a train, and this train takes you deep, deep into the cave. The lights in the cave really allow us to see the rocks. Without it, it would just be pitch black, and you're not allowed to do any flash photography because there are a lot of creatures in the cave that are really sensitive to light. It's pretty cold in the caves, and even if it's warm outside, it would be recommended to bring layers and also to wear something that's waterproof because it is a little wet.
What if you're tall?
When you hear something,
They should actually warn the tall people though.
yeah, they should.
The train takes you deep into the cave, and then the remainder you can walk on by foot. And then when you leave the cave, you take the train back once again. And there is a tour guide who walks the cave with you, explains the different structures, and makes sure you don't get left behind. This is one of the most well-known caves in Slovenia, but there are many other caves to explore as well.
Whoa, lower your
When I think of cave before going here, I would think of someplace kind of small and dark, and I never would have imagined something this big. So this is definitely not something you would need to avoid if you're claustrophobic, because it's actually a lot of space, and it is dark and it's underground, but you don't feel enclosed. Towards the end of the tour, we were able to see some cave salamanders, and this reminded me a lot of the axolotls that we saw in Mexico. They look similar, however, they are a different genus and they're exclusively found in Europe. They are cave dwelling and they do not like light.
The two big one attacked the small one lost his leg, but that's not a problem. 1.5 years and he got a new one.
On the way back to the train, you walk through a gift shop and they had these mini salamanders and souvenir rocks, and of course those are Mitchell traps, but I did not bring any home with me. We stopped to take in the last view of the rocks, and there's a room that is a concert hall, so it has really great acoustics and they actually have performances there. And of course we almost missed the train. This introduction to Slovenia was so awesome, and the caves continue to be explored and they are ever changing, so it would be really cool to go back sometime. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, it's been really fun for me to go back and review this trip. I am still training really hard for nationals. Nothing has been super exciting with training so far. I've just been doing lots of volume, and I have about 2 months left before my next meet, and maybe I will have some time to post some training updates.